Day after day, in the sun and the wind and the rain, I climbed into the hills. This was where I was meant to be.
Just released this past weekend at the Angelica Film Center at Mockingbird Station, Jane is one of the best documentary films of the year. Set to a rich orchestral score from the legendary composer Philip Glass, this biopic offers an unprecedented intimate portrait of Jane Goodall, a trailblazer who defied all odds to become one of the world's most admired conservationists, and in 2002 named by Secretary General Kofi Annan as a United Nations Ambassador of Peace. The documentary is pieced together from over 100 hours of newly discovered video recorded by world-renowned nature photographer Hugo van Lawick, sent by anthropologist Louis Leakey to Gombe to document Jane's amazing work in her early years at the Gombe Stream National Park along Lake Tanganyika in East Africa. With no training whatsoever, Jane was chosen by Leakey because he was counting on her to use her own common sense and innate genius for observation and description to hopefully make discoveries that might change our understanding of ourselves and of our own evolution. Over the course of more than half a century, Jane Goodall has done more to expand our knowledge of animals living in the wild than perhaps any other researcher. Two of her colleagues, Diane Fossey and Biruta Geldakis, were sent by Leakey to Rwanda and Borneo, respectively, to study the mountain gorilla and orangutan. But Jane's discoveries rocked the scientific world when she discovered that chimpanzees not only use natural objects as tools, but also modified objects to actually create tools. When Leakey learned of this, he famously remarked, "Now we either must redefine man, redefine tool, or include chimpanzees as man." Of course, the aim was not to say that chimpanzees were human beings, so Jane's major discovery, which took place during her first 6 months in the field, became the first breakthrough which led to the development of the entire field today known as animal cognition. Are people smart enough to know how smart animals are? Thanks to Jane Goodall, the answer is yes. The colors are lush in these newly restored images, many of which show Jane as a very young woman playfully flirting with her photographer companion, who was soon to propose marriage to her. The musical soundtrack composed by Philip Glass creates an almost hypnotic ambiance that draws the viewer into deep contemplation of the stunning images and dramatic revelations of Jane's careful observation. Most striking is the way that Jane eventually became a participant observer in her work at Gombe. Unable to observe very much from a distant hill looking down on the valley, Jane eventually wandered down and into the jungle itself, at first hidden in the undergrowth of the forest, but eventually observing the chimpanzees in the open, just feet away from them. This never-before-attempted method of observation in the wild has led a whole new generation of ethologists to discover an entirely new world of animal behavior. Indeed, today's cable channels like National Geographic and Discovery owe their very existence to the popular response to Jane's earliest video documentaries. This is a film for the whole family, a tribute not only to an amazing woman, Jane Goodall, but to the life of our planet. La Traviata, literally meaning the woman gone astray, is perhaps the most beloved of Giuseppe Verdi's work, originally titled Violetta for the opera's main character. Also known for his popular operas Rigoletto and Il Trovatore, Verdi's La Traviata originally premiered in Venice in 1853 with its libretto based on a novel by the French author Alexandre Dumas. I've had the pleasure of seeing this opera 4 times before, including once 10 years ago at the famous Sydney Opera House in Australia, which will probably remain my favorite production. But the current production at the Winspear Opera House in Dallas certainly gives the other one a run for its money. Lavish set designs and spectacular vocals make this production a standout among the repertoire of the Dallas Opera, which has been bringing the best in opera to our Metroplex for exactly 60 years now. The current production marks the 9th time that La Traviata has been performed in front of Dallas audiences. This one is a knockout with vocal performances from the principal players that are second to none. The Traviata will be performed again this Friday with a matinee on Sunday. Don't miss it.